Hello and welcome back to Greenhill Junction. Back to the building of the layout in this video, and we're once again concentrating on this area here, which is between the station and the bridges around here. Now, the focus of this video is going to be getting all the scenery done in the back, because obviously I did the sensible thing and did the scenery in the foreground first, and now I'm going to reach over that to do the scenery in the background. But you know, hey ho. So first things first is I need to get back scenes on. So I am currently just test fitting the boards that I've built. I have built them the exactly same way as I've done with the other backboards here. So it's 3mm hardboard on a pine frame, and it's held together by staples and glue. I'll leave a link in the top right hand corner to see how I do that. The quandary I'm having is over here for this section between the bridges and that corner. And I'll move the camera so you can see into the corner, and I'll show you the two options that I have. Okay, so that's a view of the corner. That's caused me to think a little bit. The bottom baseboard goes out to here, where you can just see that line of cork. Doesn't look much from this perspective, but there's actually two lines running there, and they come through into, well, they come in and out of there, and then they run over the red viaduct bridge, which is down there, so the back bridge. If you remember from when I shifted all the bridges about. So the issue is what do I want to do here? Now I have the two options, so you just bear with me a sec. I could put a board in like that, and it comes along very close to the red bridge, and I would need to cut another tunnel for those two lines that are going under there. Oops. Oh, that went well. So, I suppose the drawback of this is I don't have a lot of room to do scenery on the side of the other side of the upper level. I really like the sort of foresty thing I created there, and I want to carry that to the other side of the track. But I mean, really, there's only about a hand's width of space in there to create a hill, and then it totally disappears here. It totally disappears there. So my other option, if I show me things about again, is to do what I've been doing and just keep on running the baseboards along the very back of the bottom, the bottom base. Keep on running the baseboards. Keep on running the backboards along the bottom baseboards, if you follow. Now what that will require is putting in some sort of tunnel mouth there. That's a spare Metcalf bridge tunnel thing that I've got that actually fits quite well. I'll just need to chop off that side, although I'm considering buying a red one because the viaduct is red. To be honest, it really depends how much disposable income I've got, whether I do that or not, but it might be easier to just buy one and scratch build it. Or not scratch build it, but modify it. And then this would go in the back. Z21's obviously going to move, but hopefully you can see in the video, because I can't actually move my hands to show you. That's going to give me a lot more scenic scope to do a kind of hillside, forest scene. And the Z21 will just get moved down to the floor, and hopefully that doesn't affect its signal. So that's my two options. Just going to lift this out before I drop it. and I've got to figure out which one I'm going with, because that kind of dictates the entire sort of scene. So I'll have a think about that. I'll get the baseboards installed, and then I'll show you what option I've decided to go with. Right, welcome back. I've got my assistant in with me. You can see he is absolutely thrilled about doing back scenes, just about as thrilled as I am, to be quite honest. Do not like this job. So got the first one on, and I'm using good old wallpaper paste instead of the stuff I used the last time, the deluxe materials scene stuff, whatever it was. So that's all I've got. Good old Solvite, all-purpose wallpaper adhesive. That's about a £5, I think. No, and the dog just ripped the back scene. That's just fantastic. Okay, yeah, so never work with animals. Yeah, apart from that, it's going on about as well as it goes on with the fancy stuff that's not meant to have any creases in it because it's going on creased. So, yeah, I'll crack on with that and we'll get the back scenes up. Okay, that is the backboards installed at last. I absolutely hate that job. I'd imagine it would be a lot easier if you install them before you put your tables together. But crawling under the tables and trying to get these in is just, it's a necessary evil and now it's done. What I decided to go with is I've decided to run the backboards, there's a trip over my chair, along the back of the baseboards to give me the maximum scenic room here. And I think that looks a lot better if I sit down, having the backboard beyond the red bridge. If it was running along the red bridge, I think it would just make everyone look a bit, I don't know, just not as good. With these things and me not having everything square, you get issues like that. So it was worse. What I had to do is I have cowboyed it and put some timber in the back to bring that board in. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm either going to do the same, but this is quite a big gap, or my hillside is going to run from the track up to that point, up to there, and across to join these two scenes up. So I thought maybe I could get an angle bracket in there, or a corner bracket, and just attach it to this board, and then pull that in, and then attach it to that board, and that might work. But that's a problem for another day, to be quite honest. You might be wondering why I've got a random bit of sky in there. It's because I bought enough back scenes to do the entire layout. So it was 2 packs, so 1 pack starts there and runs all the way along to there where the new pack starts, and eventually I will bring it all the way around and hook it up to there. Now, I measured it all out and I was short something like 7 inches of back scene. Now, I certainly wasn't going out and spending money on a set of back scenes for 7 inches, so I cut a bit of sky because I had that left over from when I did the other hillside over at the back of the village, and it's went in there. And as I've just shown you, there'll be a hillside covering most of that. Yeah, this doesn't match great. You know what? I don't care. This is my project, this is my hobby. If stuff doesn't match perfectly, I honestly don't care. I do what I can with what I've got. So once I get the hillside in there, it's going to look a lot better. The joins aren't too bad. There's one of the joins there. That one's quite good actually. Not too bad at all. Probably get away with that. The one over here isn't the greatest. That is a wee bit high compared to that, so there'll probably be a bush or a tree going in there just to cover that up. But yeah, like I say, horrible job to do. But I have to say, if you think of doing this, just use wallpaper paste. See, compared to that Deluxe Materials backscene glue, the wallpaper paste was a doddle. I can't wallpaper, which is why this one, my first one's not great. There's a few creases there. I've got the dog's damage there to permanently remind me of him. But the Deluxe Materials stuff, which I used for all these backscenes, once you put the paper on the baseboard, that's it. It's pretty much stuck. It's really hard to adjust it. The wallpaper paste, you can put it on, you can move it about, you can lift it back off, you can adjust it. And I mean, this second board that I did, once I got into the knack of essentially wallpapering, there isn't a crease or a bubble to be seen. Yeah, so I touched it when it was wet and managed to rip that wee bit of the corner. But I mean, the Deluxe Materials stuff is about £8–10 probably plus delivery for about 200 mils, and that pack of wallpaper paste, which is sitting there, and I've still got loads left, makes litres of wallpaper paste. I actually had to throw a fair bit away after I did all that, those back scenes, and that was like a fiver. So just go get wallpaper paste and treat it like you're wallpapering, and it works absolutely fine. Next job's figure out what I'm going to do with that corner, fix that, and then I will. I'm getting paid this week, so I'll probably get the tunnel mouth in there, and then I can start creating the hillside. But I mean, as you can see, even sitting there, what a difference that makes having that back scene in. Really helps the whole thing look, well, not realistic, but just look better. So I'm pleased with that. I'm glad it's out of the way, and I'll get on with some more, and we'll come back when I'm starting to create that hill, because you don't need to see me try and build a cardboard tunnel. So back when the more interesting stuff starts. Right, so I like filming, showing when things don't go right, as well as when they do. So what's happening here is that even though the staple gun is set to its lowest power, it is blasting the bit of wood off the back scene and taking the back scene with it. Now I've tried putting that cardboard tab on, and it's not really holding that well. It'll probably come off shortly anyway. So plan B, it's not going to work with the chicken wire, which is strange because it worked over there and all I had was cardboard tabs. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I'm starting to lose my patience a little bit, to be quite honest, because this is the second time that that's blasted off of there. So yeah, I think I'm going to just need to go with cardboard and paper and figure something out. So back to the drawing board. Right, went back to the chicken wire idea because I tried to do strips of card and they just wouldn't stick and kept on falling off, which tried my patience again, shall we say. So managed to change the settings on the staple gun so it didn't fire quite so powerfully, so I managed to get the chicken wire attached to some of the tabs. Did manage to fire one or two off, so what I ended up doing was just stapling it direct to the back scene in certain places. And yeah, I made mistakes here and there, but a tactical bush will cover that up. Again, most of the damage to the back scene is underneath the chicken wire, so it won't be seen. And then staple it along here and staple it to within an inch of its life, all the way along the upper level. Wasn't the easiest job in the world. Much swearing was done, so just well didn't film it because YouTube would have probably banned the video. Paper triangle in there because the chicken wire only went so far, so that paper fills in there. That tab I've put in the wrong place, it's too high. I was going to try and remove it, but I'll just remove a fair chunk of the back scene with it, so I'll just paint that brown, and again tactical bush over it, should cover it up fine. But the chicken wire, it just gives a much more natural look to the landscape. As you staple it down, it just bends and folds whichever way it wants, so you get random contours and ups and downs in it. You can't really see it just now because well, it's see-through. So the next job is to cover that in the newspaper paper mache. So time to get covered in glue, and then you hopefully get a better idea of what the landscape's contours are going to look like. Right, that's the second layer of paper mache down on the wire. Just need to let that dry, probably take about a day for it to dry in and go hard. I put 2 layers down just because it covers up the sort of pattern of the wire so it doesn't show through. It also gives a nice solid surface for doing the scenery on. Like I've said before, I really don't understand why there's such a in thing for like the plaster cloth and stuff like that. I mean, this is one of the cheapest newspapers you can buy, naming no names, and I get it off my father-in-law once he's finished reading it. And all you need to do is rip some pages into big strips. You don't even need the whole newspaper. And this is quite a big hill. This is probably about 1 metre long from the bridges to the corner by about half a metre down to there. And yeah, so rip it into strips, PVA water mix, probably 60-40 in favour of the PVA, in an old ice cream tub and just go for it. And it's genuinely really good fun. I enjoy doing this side of things. It's like going back to primary school and just getting messy with glue. But it's so inexpensive to do. I mean, in all the paper mashing I've done around this layout, I don't even think I've used a whole newspaper. So yeah, give this a go. You get the same result apart from the newsprint. You get exactly the same result. And yeah, it'll take maybe a wee bit more paint to cover the newsprint, but paint's not that expensive, so nowhere near as expensive as the plaster cloth. So I do it this way, honestly. Anyway, so moving on to the actual landscape itself. Now the paper's down, you can get an appreciation of how the hillside looks. And what I like about the chicken wire is the way it just folds naturally. So it goes up and then we've got a wee divot there, but the hillside continues up into the main sort of bit of the hill, a nice gentle slope down there. You know, and all I've done to achieve that is stapled it in places and let the wire fold as it wanted to fold. And even if you look up there, there's a bit of a hillock in the corner, just the way it folded. It's no big deal, that's perfect, you know, looks natural. So moving on to the landscape side of things, I have got loads of tree foam armatures out, and there's more piled up here. The issue is the weather has went very distinctly Scottish. August in Scotland ain't exactly summery, so yeah, that'll need to wait because I can't spray paint them indoors because the wife does not like the smell, and I got a bit of a telling off the last time I did it. But anyway, the trees are the last thing. That needs to dry, get it all painted, get the scatters and the static grass down, and then the trees are just really to finish off the wood effect. So I'll come back once basically the scene's coming together. Alright, so back in a bit. Alright, welcome back, and that's the hillside done. So I didn't film the landscaping of it because it's things that I've done before, so it's the same techniques that I've used, for example doing that embankment or doing the hills the other side of the layout. So I didn't really feel a need to repeat it. I did go a bit ham, to be honest, with where stuff went because I wanted a wild, unkempt scene. So I just basically put down glue and stuck stuff where I wanted, to where I felt it needed to go. So there's a whole mix of things. So the first thing was putting down the fine turf earth and fine turf soil, along with some soil for the garden just as a base. And then just started going with the bushes. So you've got the woodland scenic clump stuff in there. You've got my homemade gorse bushes, homemade seafoam trees, static grass down as well. So I started off with a 2 and 4 mil static grass mixed together because I didn't really see the point in doing them apart. And then I went straight in after that with the 12 mil stuff, which you can see there. And again, it doesn't stand up, but that's fine. It's long grass falls over, so but kind of random where I put it. So there's a fair decent clump in there, but then that bit there is a bit balder, and that's just coarse turf that's scattered down as well. And more of the gorse bushes and the trees. Now I will admit to a slight problem in getting the trees to stand upright, because, well, they're only going into 2 layers of paper mache, so they weren't really for staying upright. So basically, they had to get glued within an inch of their life, and then something put against them to hold them in place. So there's the occasional wonky tree like there, but you know what? There's wonky trees in nature, so I'll live with that. It was just when they were falling right over that was just driving me nuts. So it's actually taken a wee while to get the trees in and in place. And the other thing I did was, well, remember I had the bit of wood there that I put in the wrong place? Well, there's a tactical bush to cover it up, and that kind of blends in quite well. And then I've done the edges all the way along the back scene, right into the upper station, so it finishes all that off as well. If I just negotiate past my chair and look up there, you can see that's really quite an effective wooden or wooded scene for the trains to go through and under. And again, if I come round here, yeah, that's some nice running shots there of the trains coming back and forth to the bridge. There's a few things that still need done. So I've got a gap here and a wall that's not ended properly, but I'm going to probably do that when I start doing the scenery under the bridges, which probably isn't going to be anytime soon, because I don't think I've got the skill to do what I want to do yet, so a bit more research required there. And likewise, there's a gap in there, but that's probably going to get, well, that will get done when this scene gets done. But yeah, all in all, really chuffed with that. Turned out exactly how I wanted it to turn out. So let me know what you think. Give me any comments you've got, good, bad, and different. I like reading them all. And get any questions, please ask in the comments. And I think we'll just finish off with our running session. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. Subscribe if you've not already to the channel to watch how the layout progresses. Like and share the video if you think it's any good. Cheers for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.